From Studio 1A in Tampa, Florida, comes a talk show that really feels your pain and tells you like it is. We love America and all that freedom-loving Americans want to protect. Live from coast to coast and on your radio, it's For the People with Keith Allen.
We'll help you survive this thing called life. We're for the people. Whatever your source of stress or strife, for the people is there.
Hello, Mr. and Mrs. America. I am Keith Allen and proudly welcoming you to this Friday's edition of For the People on June the 30th. Just about the last day. We'd have to say for the people at least. Because we got the 4th of July weekend, and I can't believe we're already heading into August. A lot of you actually going out of town and driving places, and some of you have to work on the 4th of July, so we're going to keep the program going. We're going to be live. We're not going to pre-tape on the 4th, and not going anywhere particularly. Might go to the beach, but that would be after the radio show. Kind of thinking about heading over to Clearwater Beach, Florida. I live in Tampa, so it's, just right up the road. It's a beautiful deal. Love the beach there. I know it's a little touristy, but it's one of my favorites anyway. Trump sending the feds to Chicago, and it's a campaign promise that he said that if the mayor couldn't get under control the shooting sprees and the killings, 14 shootings, 1,714 shootings alone in Chicago this year. That's a lot of shootings. That's a lot of gang activity. You got gangs in Chicago that you don't want to mess with. In St. Petersburg, Florida, I don't know if you remember some of the race riots and things like that happened. Maybe you remember them many years ago, but there are places in St. Petersburg, Florida, even that the police don't even want to go near. Still today, they just don't want to go because some of these gangs, they got some serious firepower. And, they have cop killer bullets and just ammunition they shouldn't have, but they have. And one of the main reasons why is because a lot of these gangs are hooked up with the drug cartels. Not a surprise. You got to make their money somewhere. So from prostitution to drugs, between those two, and extortion and all the things that gangs do, a lot of people are dying in Chicago, and it's a very violent place to live. Ron Emanuel can't get things under control. This is the Obama leftover. He decided that he could make a mess, I guess, further of Chicago, and decides to come in. It's these folks that are destroying this country, folks. It's the liberal agenda. It really is. It's the liberal way of progressivism that is killing our country. And that's one of the main reasons why I took over the broadcast when Chuck asked me to do it, is to get the word out, the message out, to save America. And we fought so hard every single day to get Donald Trump elected, to get the word out, to get the facts out. And lo and behold, we did. But there is a violent attack from the left when it comes to anything that the right is trying to do, anything that this president, anybody around him, surrounding him, it's very evident in the media today of what's happening. And Donald Trump is continuing to do business despite all the antics, despite all the things that are happening. It wasn't a surprise this morning when I heard Todd Starn. He's a conservative, and he does a lot of columns. He writes a lot in Fox News, and you may have read of Todd Starn's in other places, but he's getting ready to do a syndicated broadcast, and I think he's a terrific guy, has a lot of nice things to say. We always knew that there was an attack on America with Christianity. We saw it during the Obama administration, this attack on Christianity, but to, fundamentally transform the fabric of America. I mean, he even said that's what his goal was, and in essence, in a lot of essence, he really did, using Hollywood, using his pulpit, and changing so many different things from his stand on traditional marriage, etc. But the attack is very real, folks, very real, and the numbers are up, no doubt about it. The amount of attacks on fundamental Christianity, about 74 or 75% right now, believe that America is under attack, and because of our values, conservative values, Christian values. That's right, your Christian values. I mean, we see it in the public square. A lot of places you can't have the cross. You can't have a major because it offends people. You can't say Merry Christmas in a lot of places. And this is America, folks. America. This is America that we live in. This is the country that was founded upon the gospel, in my opinion, with our founding fathers. They weren't perfect by any means, but their intent was right, to ask God to bless this nation. And when you stop doing that, this is the kind of behaviors that you get: insanity, or as I call it, liberal lunacy. And we've coined the phrase here. You can use it if you want. That's okay. Liberal lunacy. Well, months after taking to Twitter, Donald Trump is bringing the feds to help reduce Chicago's murder rate. And authorities have confirmed it today to the Chicago Sun-Times. About 20 additional agents for the U.S. Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives have been sent to the city. Trump's Attorney General Jeff Sessions appeared to confirm today that the federal government is sending help, and pretty much decreeing that the crime epidemic in the city and the streets, crime and killings in Chicago, have reached such epidemic proportions that the Fed has to come in. They have no choice. I'm looking at a picture of the Chicago police at a scene of a shooting that killed multiple people on the Chicago Skyway earlier this week, Wednesday, June 21st. The shooting prompted an early morning closure of part of an expressway that connects the city with Indiana. And murders happen all the time like this, folks. This is like business as usual. Washington, D.C. used to be the murder capital of the world, but Chicago's right there. Yeah, I get what's the exact number? We've already said 1,714. It's a lot of shootings, folks. A lot of people dying. And I look around liberal cities where there's liberal mayors, and it's the same thing that's happening, but Chicago's topping them. They got to crack down on this stuff. They got to root this stuff out. They got to declare a war on the gangs. They got to take our streets back, get the guns out of the bad people's hands, not the good people, but the bad people's hands, the bad man. Lord have mercy. Let's definitely say a prayer for the initiative there, that they are able to get a foothold into that city to take it back, because too many families are scared to even come out, walk around, or do anything. They don't know if they're going to be next. And a lot of times it's you're caught in the crosshairs no matter where you are, and victim of circumstance, just wrong place, wrong time. All right, Sheriff Clarke. I love this guy. He's Milwaukee sheriff. This guy is he loves Donald Trump, obviously. I mean, he's been very outspoken and has done a great job for Milwaukee. I mean, no holds bar approach. Got to love this guy. But he's pretty much putting it out there. Those who criticize Donald about his Twitter attacks on the Morning Joe host. And we're gonna read what he has to say. Why not? You want to hear it? All right, I can't hear you. Okay, here we go. People on the right criticizing for his tweet on Crazy Mika and Psycho Joe. Stop yourselves, he posted. He says, stop it. He says, those two are evil, as is CNN, he concluded, of the Morning Joe host. The news cycle was upturned against by two tweets posted by Trump this morning in response to intense criticism from Morning Joe, Scarborough, and Brzezinski. I heard poorly rated Joe speaks badly of me. Don't watch anymore. Then how come low IQ Crazy Mika along with Psycho Joe came? This is Trump tweeting. Why did they come to Mar-a-Lago 3 nights in a row around New Year's Eve, insisted on joining me? She was bleeding badly from a face. I said no. He continued in a second tweet. I heard poorly rated speaks badly, don't watch anymore. She was bleeding. So the personal attack rankled many on the left and has been condemned by many politicians. Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, the American people need us to focus on health care and tax reform, not Twitter fights and cable news. Yeah, so many people have said this. This is true. And basically, David Clarke is basically saying people on the right criticizing for his tweet on Crazy Mika and Psycho Joe, stop yourselves. These two are evil as CNN. They are evil, folks. These people don't want anything to do with conservative Christian values. And you don't even have to be a religion. You don't have to be super souped up, religious or anything like that, though. I have a Bible. I read the Bible. I believe in the Bible. I try to follow the Bible and the golden rule as much as I can. But do you think CNN does that? You think when they were trying to put Trump against the wall and lying about Russia, you think when they make up stories and then they get Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski to sit there and go back on television to try to rake them over the coals again because they're back on the TV, made for little hands cereal with Cheerios. Surprised Cheerios hasn't said anything about them using their cereal box, but they're back on television right now and pretty much taunting Donald Trump. And then there's a scathing article in the Washington Post. This media firestorm over the tweets are continuing into this morning, this afternoon, wherever you might be listening to the program. And they went on to accuse the White House staff members of threatening them with damaging articles in the National Enquirer that could be prevented if they begged the president for help. Many noted that the gossip magazine appeared interested in the story. They also claimed that Trump's version of their dinner in December was laughable and offered their own account. They said it was Trump who was requesting their company, not the other way around. So this is a feud between both of them. And basically the biggest problem right now that Trump has with them is that they're on the television, on their program, basically assaulting his mental health. And, this is nothing productive about this. I have mentioned yesterday that, I would think that with healthcare, with all the other initiatives going on, maybe you shut the TV off for a while and then give them nothing to talk about. But they're always going to find something to talk about. With the Mar-a-Lago thing, I think it's a personal thing with Donald Trump. I think, you spend some time with him and then you start talking trash with him. You don't think he's going to be inviting them to Mar-a-Lago anymore. It's a beautiful place if you've ever been there. If you look it up on the internet, it's absolutely gorgeous. There was more of an exchange yesterday. Maybe you didn't hear of it. But Sarah Huckabee Sanders had a interesting time with the media talking about this very, very thing. And so here's that exchange about all of this.
Look, everybody wants to make this an attack on a woman and equality. What about the constant attacks that he receives or the rest of us? I'm a woman, and I've been attacked by this show multiple times, but I don't cry foul because of it. I think that, you want to create this false narrative one hand, it's like, let's treat everybody equally, and on the other hand, they attack, and he responds, and apparently that's wrong. I'm sorry, guys. I've answered this question.
Why can't he take the heat?